Welcome to the Beyond 6 Seconds podcast. I'm your host, Carolyn Keel. Today, I'm speaking with Swarit Gopalan, an 11-year-old autistic non-speaker who uses a letterboard to spell and a keyboard to type to communicate. He lives with his family in Florida and goes to Invictus Academy for school. For my interview with Swart today, I sent my questions to him in advance, and he prepared his answers beforehand. His parents and communication and regulation partners, Jenny Padma and Swarit Gopalan, are also here today, and they'll be reading out the answers that Swarit prepared. Swarit is a writer, and here's what he wrote in his bio to describe his writing and his advocacy. Right from the time of diagnosis, we are only told about all things we cannot or will not be able to do. Along with the check that is written to the doctor for the diagnosis, it often feels like our agency is written off too, especially without a reliable communication mechanism. Time to change the paradigm with more non-speakers' voices. It has always been a dream to share my thoughts and perspectives with the world so that I can be one of the catalysts to creating a better understanding of non-speakers in general. My hope is that my words will help change the world from sympathy and pity for those like me to one of deeper understanding of our lives and allyship to ensure our rights. Swarit, welcome to the podcast. I'm so happy to have you here today. How did you get introduced to spelling on a letterboard and to typing on a keyboard?
So this is Swarit's dad, Arun. I'm going to read his answers as Carolyn, you said. I got introduced to spelling to communicate in June 2021. My parents got coached by Dr. Dana Johnson. They followed the hierarchy of motor cognition of S2C, and we moved from 3-step stencils to laminated letterboards to typing. Now I primarily use laminated letterboard in public settings and keyboard at home for my posts, poetry, and creative writing.
That's wonderful that you discovered spelling to communicate, or S2C, as you said, relatively recently, and you're already writing and sharing your thoughts so much. So what inspired you to start writing on social media?
It has always been a dream to share my story and perspectives more broadly so I can help accelerate the learning curve for families like ours. It is very important to me that we get voices like mine out of the prisons they are in. My light ought to move others in directions not thought possible, as I would not be here if others had not shown the way. It would be a huge disservice to my tribe if they are left to figuring out solutions within the traditional structures that have only failed them.
Yeah, and it's wonderful that you share your experiences to educate everyone about non-speaking autistic people, and also to encourage and build a community with other non-speaking autistic people as well. So what kind of things do you like to write about?
I like to write about my lived experiences mostly, and by extension, my perspectives and reflections on things related to that. I'm writing poetry as well, as it provides me an avenue to share more abstract thoughts. My life portrays what is possible and can hopefully galvanize those that have lost hope.
Absolutely. And how do you write your posts, like on a letterboard or on a keyboard?
I share my thoughts and feelings through typing on a regular keyboard. I have a communication and regulation partner, also known as CRP, that holds the keyboard for me for now, while I'm working on my skills to type independently.
Yeah, you publish a lot of really wonderful posts about your experience. And one of the topics I wanted to ask you about, something that you've written about a lot, is dysregulation. I think that dysregulation sometimes is really misunderstood by people who don't have personal experience with it or are kind of looking from the outside, viewing it. So can you tell me a little more about what dysregulation is and how it impacts your ability to communicate?
Dysregulation, in my experience, is just losing control of some or all of my senses. Sometimes it can be a scary place, and sometimes a very happy place. In either case, I need to do something that may or may not be widely accepted to get back to my senses.
You mentioned that you need to do something that may or may not be widely accepted. Just to help educate people more about dysregulation in non-speaking autistic people, what might some of those things be, or what does that look like?
These are typically stims, like twirling a string, or rocking in a chair, etc.
I see. Okay. Yeah. And that is something that helps with the dysregulation. So, like, what kinds of things can cause you to become dysregulated?
Lots of things. Being treated with respect, sensory stimuli like lights and sounds, for example, emotions that are overwhelming, physiological factors like hunger and tiredness.
I see. And can you describe what it feels like when you're dysregulated?
I just lose control of my body. We become completely separate beings.
What usually helps you feel more regulated?
A calm and regulated partner that can help me co regulate. Someone that I respect and trust, that knows how much and what to say and how to coach my body. Sometimes just removing the stimuli helps.
And that's an important point about the role of communication and regulation partners. So, not only do they help you communicate, but they also help regulate your body when it becomes dysregulated through just their own actions and their own calmness. And of course, removing the stimuli often helps as well. That makes a lot of sense. You're currently in school, you go to Invictus Academy. As a student, what have your experiences with school and education been like?
Education has just been a pipe dream for many in our tribe. From outright abuse to glorified childcare, our school choices have been between a rock and a hard place. While my teachers always told me I was smart, we never got to actually presuming competence fully during our activities or in providing age appropriate cognitive content. Only in the last couple of years have I had anything close to resembling a formal education.
I see. And yeah, I had another question about Invictus Academy. Is that a school where you get to learn alongside other non-speakers? And I guess what kind of subjects do you like to study there when you're in school?
Yes, it is a school primarily for non speakers. I love math and history.
Awesome. That's great. And on the topic of other non-speakers, you recently went to a conference called Motormorphosis, where you got to meet other non-speaking people and their families. What was that experience like for you?
The setting was perfect by the non speakers for the non speakers. Allies and professionals were in attendance as well. The point so many live presenters made that we are up against a world that has systematically dismantled any remote chances of us trusting our own bodies and intellect was something that stayed with me in the backdrop. The past that persists into the future, the wound that keeps bleeding. I enjoyed all the non speaker panels and presentations. I loved all the offline chats, be it about my Facebook page or my April series, or discussing research topics with Professor Vikram Jaiswal, or learning about the power of love and acceptance from speller families, or observing how my tribe was dealing with their new challenges, or just reveling in the love and belonging. I came back home with a renewed sense of community and purpose. The life we want for ourselves looks even closer within reach, thanks to the collective work of the incredible community of non speakers and allies.
Yeah, it sounds like that experience was really powerful to be around your community and people who knew the the struggles and the triumphs and all of the journeys of other non-speakers. And it just sounds incredible to be able to meet and learn from so many people. And it's great that you got awesome feedback from your writing. You mentioned the April series, which is a series of posts that you did in April around Autism Acceptance Month. And you've been writing so much on Facebook and Instagram since then. So, like, what are your biggest goals as a writer and even for your life in general?
I want to continue to discover myself as a poet and a writer. While I want the primary focus of writing to be advocating for non speakers through my lived experiences, I do want to explore other topics and grow as a writer.
Yeah, absolutely. That makes a lot of sense. And one of the things you've written about is how non speakers need more allies in the world. So, how can people be good allies to non-speakers?
Anyone that respects me to spend time understanding me is a friend and an ally. We live and long for deep connections and meaningful relationships. We would be grateful if neurotypical people can invest time in building friendships with us, show genuine interest in learning about our lives, and help be an advocate for those like us in their lives.
Absolutely. And I think your writing is one of the many things you do that helps people make those connections. What advice would you have for family members of non-speakers?
Our life has been transformed with my communication flourishing now. Life is more worthwhile and meaningful. Every family with a non speaker should try this. It is cruel to be in the prison of voicelessness. The world is poorer without the wisdom of all non speakers.
Absolutely. And what advice do you have for other non-speakers?
Please continue to share your light and love with the world. There is no one else that is more capable of educating the world about your life than you. Your words make a difference.
Absolutely. Swarit, you've done so much incredible writing that you share on your social media. Where can people go to find and read your writing?
In Facebook and Instagram, under the name Swarit Gopalan, my truisms unfiltered.
Great. And I'll put links to your Facebook and your Instagram in the show notes so that people can get there easily from the show notes. So, yeah, Swarit, again, I'm really grateful that you were on my show today. And as we close out, is there anything else that people can do to help support your advocacy?
I would encourage your listeners to read and follow the non speaker blogs and their work in general. Please share our work more broadly so we can continue to sensitize the world one post at a time.
Yeah, that's great advice. So many people who are non-speaking who write about their experiences, and it's a wonderful education and just such a privilege to be able to learn from you and the rest in the community. So thank you again, Swarit. I really enjoyed talking with you today, and thanks for being on my podcast.
Thank you. The pleasure is mine.